Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with the second episode of our Seven Kingdoms 2 playthrough. That's right. That's weird. Little graphical terrain in the ground. Whatever. It's an old game. By the way, you can get this game on GOG.com or Steam, I think for only like $5 or $10. It's pretty cheap, and it's well worth the money. Again, this is one of my favorite real-time strategy games of all time. It's a nice mix between Civilization and Age of Empires and something involving monsters. I don't know, Majesty, I guess? I don't really know, just monsters. Monsters are cool. Anyway, and it never got a proper sequel. It got Seven Kingdoms Conquest, but Seven Kingdoms Conquest was awful. Just awful. Anyway, so, this is your seat of power. In your seat of power, it confers a civilization bonus. In this case, all Roman military units will now be trained with 10 more points of combat skill. That's a pretty big deal, comrades. Yes. It means all my Roman soldiers are automatically more powerful than the other civilizations at the start. So it gives me a good 10-point bonus. As you can see here, it takes a long time to get those 10 points of increase, even under a good commander such as my King Commissar Bro here. Yeah, that's right. Like, look, these guys started at 30, and it's taking them forever just to get to 40. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how long it takes. It's definitely not a short period of time at all. But anyway, I could go on. So, what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to consolidate at first. Try to take over as many towns as possible. And then, after we take over as many towns as possible, we start worrying about the other people around the block, if you know what I mean. Like the dangerous they are. All the various factions that exist around us. The orange people especially look like they're building up pretty strong. The yellow guys are pretty scary too. Dirty yellow guys. And how about those blue dudes? Yes, those dirty blue monster creatures. Ah, the weak bastards. There's a lot of Egyptians in this playthrough. Look, that's an example of a god being summoned. In this case, Isis, basically she increases the population of the town by 20 people. Wow, that's that's an awesome power. I want her. Increasing population arbitrarily by 20 every time she invokes. That means every time she's invoked, she can increase the population by like 60 people. It's insane. I totally would be up for that. Dirty girl, Isis. Anyway, so what we're doing right now is I built a war factory next to Rowan, and even though I'm not building any siege weapons out of the war factory, I'm using it as a springboard to capture this town. All I need to do is get the resistance below 30, and at that point it will surrender to General Marcus Licinius Silanus. Licinius Silanus. That's a weird name. Silanus. It's the little things in life, comrades. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're also growing the population in some of our other cities, like Rome, which is up to 41. A population can only have a max of 100 people living in it, so that's something you need to keep in mind when you're building up your little town. You don't want to expect to have more than 100 people, and then it gets to 100 people, and then you're disappointed. So, yeah. There's a lot of Frythen layers on this map. Yeah, there's a lot. Like a lot. Anyway, so we're going to build a fort next to Athens, and we are going to attempt to capture that. And we're going to do it using our spy. Spies are an interesting thing in this game. They can literally crush whole kingdoms if you're smart about it. They can do a shit ton of damage, and as you can see here, they can don the colors of any of the players in the game, including the rebels, or the independent factions in the game, which is an incredibly terrifying thought. Like, this guy alone can pretty much go and capture this fort, he can take over this fort, he can take over all of them. Now, if it was real players we were playing against, it would be easier for them to figure out that that is indeed what I'm doing, is that I'm, using I'm using spies to capture their stuff. Now, the computer player will pick up on it from time to time, but if a real savvy player can notice, like, if he all of a sudden has a bunch of Egyptian troops, yet he owns no Egyptian towns, and there were no events saying that, oh, an Egyptian troop joined you, then that means you have a spy, and that means you gotta execute him. So it's a lot of fun, and it creates this really weird tension between players, because you don't really know if your opponent is spying on you or not. There's a damn good chance he is, because, I mean, everybody's trying to win the game. But, again, there's no 100% guarantee that, you know, he is, and you could start a whole big deal about it, and then, you know, one guy could get mad, and it could turn into a war, and it's just interesting. It's very interesting how it all plays out. Again, one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite games, because it's just so full of crazy stuff that happens and occurs, and especially in multiplayer. It's a lot of fun in multiplayer if you get like-minded individuals who are interested, and they don't mind the fact that it's a top-down isometric view from 1997. Then you'll be just fine, just fine. Again, personally, I don't care that it's an isometric top-down game from 1997, because I still play those games, like Baldur's Gate, and the original Age of Empires 2, and so on. Yeah, so I mean, to me, I don't give a shit. It looks just as good to me now as it did then, and that's all that matters, comrades. Now, see, the issue we're running into now is we're running out of money. So we have pretty decent infrastructure. We've got all sorts of stuff going on, but we don't have money. So probably what we need to do is we need to take one of our towns and we need to move it. Considering we've only got the two. We've got Rowan and we've got Roma. And Shimodate. I forgot about Shimodate. We could take Shimodate and move it all the way over here so that we could take advantage of those clay deposits. But I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just going to bribe the town of Athens, use more of our money, and I am going to go over here and we're going to build a whole brand new town. That's right. And we're going to take this guy. We're going to build the mine on top of the mine. He's going to build a factory next to our proposed mine. And then this guy is going to build a marketplace right here. Alright, beautiful. So then the town of Athens is going to essentially move all right here. Too bad we couldn't get it in range of that fort. Well, that sucks. No big deal. Alright, well, we'll move it there. And we'll pop out one more person to go and build a fort on the opposite side, right here. Alright. Beautiful, beautiful. And we'll keep our spy here so that nothing happens. Oh, and our seat of power is idle. Now again, with the seat of power, what you can do is you can invoke a greater being who has a special ability. Some of them are warlike and can do damage to enemy units. Other ones do damage to buildings. Other ones, as you saw with Isis, she confers population bonuses or loyalty bonuses. There's all sorts of things I do. For the Romans, I like to just do unknown blessings, because then shit like this happens, where we just get a random town, we'll just take the population, and we'll send the population over here to Rome. And it saves us from having to take over that town. So you'll just have random stuff like that happen. Sometimes an enemy Frythen will enter your service. Sometimes... Oh shit, did that fort build yet? Oh, it's still building. No, that's no bueno. It's got to build faster. Alright, let's pop everybody into the cabins. Or the wagons, I mean. Anyway. Alright, out of building. Move. Move. I don't even know what I was saying just now. I hope that's in range. Is that in range? Shit, it's not. Wait for it to finish. Shit, it's not. Oh, piss. Oh, that's no bueno. Alright, well, I guess we'll just have to build a camp. And we'll have to upgrade it to a fort later. Because we're running out of cash. We are most certainly running out of cash. Well, but we don't... Because we actually have a working, thriving economy, though. The Oh, do not enter. Do not enter. You will piss people off. Do not let your loyalty get below 30, or the population will rebel. And let's be honest, nobody wants any rebelling going on here. None of that stuff happening. I don't need that. You don't need that. We as a family do not need that. That is just no bueno. Okay, so, well, we recovered pretty quickly from that. Now we're making a lot more money. and now there are factions who are offering us friendly treaties. Everyone's got a pretty high reputation. That's another resource we'll talk about another time. Yeah, this seems to be a pretty good run along that we got going here. As long as we make money, we're good. Like, as long as we just don't run out of money. If we run out of money, we might be in trouble. And we're just going to max out our producing population. Oh, did I build 2 factories? Damn it. Oh my god. I am clearly not in my right mind today. Wow. Wow, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, well, that explains why we weren't increasing how much money we were making significantly, by a significant margin. Whatever. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro with the second episode of Seven Kingdoms 2. That's right. I hope this is a game that you guys are at least relatively interested in, as this, again, is one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game, and I hope I can convince you guys to go pick it up yourself. Again, it still has an active community, relatively speaking. There's still people who play it like me, so if you're looking for like online games, there are people who still play this game. And the online is surprisingly easy to work. You just gotta set up a couple things, and bam, you're good to go. So yeah, I mean, you got that. But anyway, I could keep talking, but I'm not going to. This has been Commissar Bro, and I'll see all you amazing people next time.